Theorem: let A be a closed subset of a normal space, and suppose f from A to open interval -1 plus 1 is continuous, then there exists a continuous function capital F defined from x to open interval -1 plus 1 such that capital F of x is equal to small f of x for all x element of A. This theorem states that if small f is a function from a closed subset of a normal space into the open interval -1 plus 1, then there exists a continuous extension to this function small f. And note that here the codomain is open interval -1 plus 1 instead of a closed interval as in the previous theorem. To prove the existence of a continuous extension, let us first define a new function g of x such that g of x is equal to f of x upon 1 plus mod f of x for all x element of the closed subset A. Then if f of x is greater than 0, or more generally if f of x is greater than or equal to 0, then g of x is equal to f of x divided by 1 plus f of x. So in this case 0 less than or equal to f of x and f of x is less than 1 since the codomain of the function f is open interval -1 plus 1. So f of x will be strictly less than 1. F of x less than 1 will imply that g of x less than 1 by 2, and since f of x is greater than or equal to 0 in this case, g of x will be greater than or equal to 0. So in this case we can say that 0 less than or equal to g of x less than 1 by 2. Similarly, if f of x is less than 0, then g of x will be f of x upon 1 minus f of x. And in this case we know that -1 less than f of x less than 0 since the codomain of f is open interval -1 1. So -1 will be less than f of x, will imply that g of x is greater than -1 by 2. Since f of x is less than 0, we can say that the denominator of g of x, that is 1 minus f of x, will be positive and the numerator f of x is negative. So g of x will be less than 0. Thus we can see that g of x lies in between -1 by 2 and 0. So -1 by 2 less than g of x less than 0 in this case. Combining these two, we can say that g of x will lie in the open interval -1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 for every x element of A. Since f and mod f are continuous functions, this g of x will be continuous. Hence we can see that g is in fact a continuous function which takes values in the open interval -1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. So g of x can be treated as a function from A to closed interval -1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 also. So g is in fact a continuous function defined on a closed subset A of the normal space X, and its codomain can be regarded as a closed interval. So by the previous theorem we can conclude that this continuous function will have a continuous extension, say capital G, to the space X. That is, capital G will be a continuous function defined from X to closed interval -1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, and capital G will be an extension of small g. Now we construct a new set B as follows. B is defined as the collection of all points of the space X such that g of x is equal to either plus 1 by 2 or minus 1 by 2. That is, B is the collection of all pre-images of plus 1 by 2 and minus 1 by 2 under capital G. Then B is a closed subset since B can be regarded as the inverse image of the finite set minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. This being a finite subset of a T1 space is closed, and we know that inverse image of every closed subset will be closed under any continuous function. So B is also closed. Also note that A intersection B is empty since if x belongs to A, then capital G of x will be equal to small g of x since capital G is an extension of small g. So those two functions will agree on capital A. So capital G of x will be equal to small g of x for every x element of A. And we know that small g of x is defined as f of x divided by 1 plus mod f of x. Then if small x element of B also, then capital G of x will be equal to plus or minus 1 by 2, and that would imply that f of x divided by 1 plus mod f of x is equal to plus or minus 1 by 2, which implies that mod f of x upon 1 plus mod f of x will be equal to plus 1 by 2, and on cross multiplication we will get 2 mod f of x is equal to 1 plus mod f of x, and hence mod f of x will be equal to 1, which is a contradiction since f of x lies in the open interval minus 1 plus 1 and f of x will be strictly less than 1 and minus 1 less than f of x. So mod f of x will be strictly less than 1. Thus we have arrived at a contradiction. Therefore x won't be a member of both A and B, or in other words A intersection B must be empty. So both A and B are closed subsets of the normal space X, and hence by applying Urysohn's lemma there will exist a continuous function, say small h, defined from the normal space X to closed interval 0, 1, such that the closed set A is mapped to 1 and h of x is equal to 0 on the closed set B. Now we define a new function capital H of x, which is defined as small h of x into capital G of x for every small x element of capital X. This is possible since both capital G and small h are functions defined on the normal space X, and since both small h and capital G are continuous functions, capital H will be continuous, and since g of x lies in the closed interval minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 and h of x belongs to closed interval 0, 1, their product small h of x into capital G of x will belong to closed interval minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, but h of x will be equal to minus 1 by 2 only if g of x, capital G of x is equal to minus 1 by 2 and h of x is equal to 1. But g of x equal to minus 1 by 2 will imply that x belongs to B, and hence image of this x under H will be equal to 0 from the definition of the function H. Thus we have arrived at a contradiction. Therefore capital H won't attain the value minus 1 by 2. Similarly, we can prove that capital H won't attain the value plus 1 by 2 either. So we can conclude that capital H of x assumes values only from the interval open interval -1/2 plus 1/2. Thus, we have proved that the new function capital H is continuous and takes values only in open interval -1/2 plus 1/2. Now we define a new function capital F from x to r by the definition capital F of x is equal to capital H of x upon 1 minus capital H of x for every x element of capital X. Observe that the denominator 1 minus h of x will not be equal to 0 since capital H of x is not equal to 1. Hence, the function capital F will be well defined since both numerator and denominator are continuous functions. The new function capital F will be continuous, and since capital H takes values in the open interval -1/2 plus 1/2, capital F will take values in the open interval -1 plus 1, and so we can regard capital F as a continuous function from x into open interval -1 plus 1. Now it remains to show that capital F is an extension of small f. For this, we need to show that capital F of x is equal to small f of x for every x element of A. Let us consider an arbitrary element, say small x of capital A. If small f of x is greater than or equal to 0, then capital H of x, which is defined as small h of x into capital G of x, will be equal to 1 into capital G of x using the definition of small h, and that will be equal to small g of x since capital G is an extension of small g, and small g is defined as small f of x by 1 plus mod f of x, and since f of x is greater than or equal to 0, mod f of x is equal to f of x itself. So we can express small g of x as small f of x divided by 1 plus small f of x, and this will be greater than or equal to 0 since f of x is non-negative. And now capital F of x, which is defined as capital H of x upon 1 minus capital H of x, will be equal to f of x upon 1 plus f of x divided by 1 minus f of x by 1 plus f of x, and that will be equal to f of x upon 1 plus f of x minus f of x, which will be equal to f of x itself. So we have capital F of x is equal to small f of x in this case where small f of x is greater than or equal to 0. Similarly, when f of x is less than or equal to 0, we can show that small f of x is equal to capital F of x. Thus, we have proved that capital F is an extension of small f. Thus, their x is a continuous extension for the function small f, which completes our proof. We can state the following result as a corollary to our previous theorem. The corollary states that any continuous real valued function on a closed subset of a normal space can be extended continuously to the whole space. Here, the codomain of this continuous function is R. This is possible since any open interval and in fact real line itself are homeomorphic to the interval open interval -1 plus 1, which is the codomain of the given function in the previous theorem. So the previous theorem can be extended to any continuous function with R as the codomain. So we can say that any continuous function defined from a closed subset, say A, of the normal space X, to R will have a continuous extension, say capital F from X to R, using the previous theorem. That is, any continuous real valued function on a closed subset of a normal space can be extended continuously to the whole space. This corollary is in fact the necessary part of Tietz's extension theorem. So we can state Tietz's characterization of normality as follows, combining this corollary and the sufficiency part of the theorem which we have proved earlier. So we can state that X is normal if and only if it has the property that for any closed subset A of capital X, every continuous real valued function on capital A has a continuous extension to capital X.